dreams a guillotine. Fake guru with 1,000 subs, showed me coins in shady clubs. Promised moons, Lambos and jets. Now I'm left with JPEGs and debts. Scalped my soul in a 5-minute chart. Market dumped and it ripped my heart. But I'll reload, I'll play to win, even if I lose it all again. Buy high, die hodling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. FOMO's God, greed's the king. This crypto dream's a punk rock thing. Time in hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. Liquidation, call me sweet. Whisper welcome to defeat. No stop loss, no regrets. Code and chaos, no safety nets. Satoshi's ghost in my DMs told me to ape again and again. Buy high, die hodling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. If I crash, at least I tried. In this wild west of blockchain rights. I'll be trading till the lights go out. Charts are noise, but I live for the sound. One candle spike, and I'm back in town. Crypto's a fight, and I'm 10 toes down.
What's up, guys? How's it going? We've got Coma, Brett, Sterling. How's it going, Sterling? Mike, Wonderbar, Juice Peters, Wonderbar again. Possible we can review H-Bar? We sure can. Ozan, hey man. Massey, good morning. We got someone from the Otter Gang in here. How you doing? It was like just moments before going on to this live, I jumped into a Zcash short. I'll explain why. We swept the all-time high. This thing's been on a tear. If you go on the daily, the thing's just been running nonstop to the upside. It's had relative strength against Bitcoin's weakness. We just reached the all-time highs like fairly recently from May of 2021, April 2021. So 100% of people are in a profit right now. Bitcoin's kind of hitting local resistance off a previous value area low, that confluence, and having a 30-minute SFP off the local highs here. It gave us the 30-minute SFP target is much lower than this. It's actually right here. When you have an SFP target, you want to look for the most recent proper pullback within the time frame that's confirmed on, and this is the technical target, which is the previous value area high from this consolidative range here that we're consolidating for not very long. It was about 3 days before we left it. We had a short off of that, hoping that it would continue further, but we had to close it. But anyways, we got above the value area, ran up through here, and now we kind of we're overbought, exhausted in the RSI. We have this uptrending momentum that we're veered away from. We have VWAP deviation, the 30-minute SFP, the 15-minute SFP. The 15-minute SFP target is this low right here because that's where we had our most recent proper pullback. So I'm taking it one target at a time. We have the proper R&R using the 15-minute target just to here. But if we do break that, lose the VWAP and lose the uptrending momentum, then we could have a target extension to the previous value area high up here at 425, which is the hourly and 30-minute SFP target. The hourly is a lot more clear. You can see, like, if you're looking at the hourly, it confirmed the same time that we got the 30-minute confirmation. But yeah, that hourly SFP target, it's much more lucrative. Hopefully that we get down there. But yeah, so just let you know that I'm in this trade right now. I risk to lose 120. I meant to risk to lose 100, but kind of the scroll wheel got away from me a little bit. But yeah, so that's what we're preparing. Well, that's what we're in right now. There might be an opportunity for anyone who might want to get in between the confirmation point and the invalidation point. The invalidation point is this wick. I did give my stop loss a little bit more breathing room. Here's my entry. So I could increase my chances of winning by about, it's like from the testing that we've done on Bitcoin, using, let's see, where is it? Not sure how we got our original stop loss, but yeah, using the Fibonacci retracement tool, you can customize it so you can get yourself a 50% deviation. And from our back testing, we found that it increases your win rate by like, it's only about like 12%. But if you have the R&R for it, why not have that extra protection? No. Thanks for the TA, Kyle. Sincerely appreciate your help for the newbies like me. No problem, man. 3-minute change, Bitcoin change of character. Ooh, that would be good for the confluence too. So going down to 3-minute. Oh, we got the change of character on Bitcoin after hitting our head off this local resistance, which is technically, I labeled it as local resistance, but it's a like previous valley area low from here, from this consolidative range that we had when we first retested that point of control, and then continued back down lower towards our daily low, which we finally swept. Going to the daily time frame, we could see that we swept the low from October 10th crash, and that for a lot of people it's a big deal because of the market structure reasons. Like, not everything's gonna be internal now, right? After we grab this low, or before we grab this low, all of this was like internal price action on the daily, and people hate that. And it's tough to like manage, because a lot of people like depend on like what's going on in the external to dictate their entries and stuff like that. But we did get, at least on the Bybit chart, an SFP off this low. Not all exchanges gave us an SFP. Some exchanges gave us a break of structure because we closed below the wick on some exchanges. So I know Bybit's a good one to trust. They have lots of liquidity. So I'm going in on the mindset that we had the SFP. And looking at the lower time frame structure, let's go to the 15-minute for Bitcoin. We did build a large double bottom, which had a confirmation structure of a bull flag right here. We broke that this morning around 7 a.m. So whether you got in on the double bottom or off these lows or off this flag here, I do want to let you know that this is an area of concern. So, and we have the confluence of being above the OR15. So if this holds as support, we might get acceptance into this value area and then come up towards our next barrier, which is this previous point of control at 104.6. And this red box zone is an order block zone that is flush with this previous point of control here. If we go to the 5-minute, you can see it a lot more clearly. All right, so I put this red box because of that those stacked confluences. So if we come up there, we got to prepare for either the high of this area causing a reversal after grabbing liquidity as exit liquidity, the point of control, this point of control, or the order block. We have 4 forms of confluence there. But yeah, right now we're hitting our head off of it. What we'd want to see, if anyone's in on a short, like myself, you'd want to see price action to get acceptance into the OR15. Because just like a valley area, when you have acceptance into the OR15, which the acceptance in the OR15 is a lot easier to get than it is for valley areas. Valley areas, you want to have a break of structure within it, whereas the OR15, you just want to have a candle close within it. So if we get the candle close in here, it increases the probability of rotating to the opposite side of the OR15. Unless something happens internally within it that could block our ability to get there. Like for example, like a little demand zone or an order block. But yeah, so right now I'm kind of hoping that we return down a little bit first. We do have uptrending momentum that could block our ability to get down there too. We could look at the order books together and find out if there is buy orders just waiting alongside this trend line. It's extremely common to see like momentum like this being honored in the order books in the form of limit orders. So we could take a peek. Let's go over to order books. They have been a little bit less trustworthy lately. I am thinking about switching from CoinGlass over to Bookmap. I'm not seeing any crazy confidence in buy walls, but we do have some confidence in sell orders at 103.99. So 103.99 is right here. So we have a sell wall right here. That could be what's influencing the price action to come down from undercuts and confluence with the value area low, because this area right here, I don't see, me personally, I don't see any confluence to suggest that we should be selling at that price, right? We're kind of at it now. So either be here or higher. So this, all this could likely do is induce a pullback to retest the value area low and then come back up higher. So it just looks like it's just an influence wall, that which has been really common lately. These giant walls would pop up on one side or the other to try to influence buyers to undercut. All right, so that's going down. Zcash got a little bit of relative strength during the moment. This is a good time to, this is my entry point right here. So if you're jumping in late, basically with SFPs, you could try to get in between the confirmation and the invalidation point. This is the confirmation here. The wick is the invalidation point. So you're technically still right to get in around here. All you're doing is improving your R&R. Low time frame posture is, 3-minute internal is bullish, right? Because we just had this pullback lower low and we're breaking this neckline now. If this candle closes above here, we could pull back up a little bit. You can use a fib to see if maybe we get a lick wick or if we get just a regular retracement. So regular retracement will look like this, coming into around 489. A lick wick level is when you pull a fib from the low to the high, in this case, and we tap into like this level, which is in line with the 786 of the regular fib pull. So now it's a good time to prepare to potentially enter if you're late to the party. You can use lower time frame confluences like a bearish change of character after hitting these levels to increase your probability of being right in this trade. And you can still use the original stop loss guard. The technical target is still pretty far away and yet to be hit. So lots of R&R. Pull a fib. Yeah. All right, we got that 3-minute bearish change of character off of the local resistance right here. We're closing inside the OR15. All right, by itself is bearish. We can rotate down to at least here, but prepare for it to potentially rotate down to here. I was hoping for a bearish change of character here. Right, decent confluence of hitting head off the downtrending momentum, but we never got the bearish change character. Instead, we got the internal like SFP that came up. So if you're wondering why that orange level is there, that's what we were hoping for, but never got it. Still retesting the orb high. We need to jump back into it. Yeah. When we close within it on the 3 minute and the 5 and the 15. And we created a 15-minute order block, giving us more bearish confluence to drive price down. Where I prepare for that bounce, yeah, like I said, potential bounce here with the confluence of like the lows and the uptrending momentum. But if we breach through this, then yeah, next spot, 102, 230. Book map shows a bear block. Maybe a sell wall. 103.5. Nice. Yeah, we do have an order block here on the 15 minute. So you could be seeing residual sell orders. Anyone notice quant breaking out? We could take a look at quant. Got a doji candle here, and we want our next one to be engulfing, so we get another bearish order block. See Cash, what are you doing, bro? Okay. Let's take a peek at some of the requests we got here. So, someone asked for H bar, someone asked for quant. Okay. But yeah, for now, while we're waiting for Bitcoin to paint the picture here, that things are looking bearish, hitting our head off this value area low, starting to get acceptance inside this OR15 area of interest that could potentially induce a pullback is like here at 102.9. If we break through this, then our next area of interest is here. That could induce a bounce as well. So these are just, think of these as like your cautionary areas while being in an active short. If anyone jumped in on the bearish 3 minute change of character. And yeah, this could help drive the price to come down for Zcash as well. Okay, while we're waiting for that picture to be painted, let's take a peek at H-bar. That's the first request that we got. We had a key level here, but it came down lower, didn't break it. And it rotated to here. And then it rotated to here. We broke that level. Never broke the low. And created a new low. Then we broke this level, went flipped bearish. Then we flipped bullish again during this moment. Similar to Bitcoin's posture, we had this double bottom into a bull flag. The bull flag target is still yet to be hit. It's suggesting that we come up to 118.204. We just flip bearish again, losing uptrending momentum right here. Or about to flip bearish, sorry. This low is still yet to be taken, but it's pretty much on that journey now. We created like a 15-minute bearish order block during this drop. And our key area of interest, we're actually at an area of interest right at the neckline break, which is kind of awkward. Yeah, this little demand zone here. Didn't really have the crazy impulse move up just prior to it, but still something that you want to watch. The VWAP is what we're kind of looking at for a potential target, in my opinion. You know, testing these previous highs again off the VWAP confluence. So if anyone's in on a short on H-bar, this is an area we want to watch out for a potential bounce. But if we break this level, we have more of a larger double top structure. If we go to the hourly posture, we'd have a bearish change of character if we broke below there on the hourly. So we'd have a good double top confluence with that change of character, and that could bring us back down to these lows again. Zooming out on the daily, let's see how this thing's doing. We got acceptance back inside this more macro range again, which is a little annoying. It was stuck in here for 125 days. We got above it. We had this double bottom technical target of aiming for around 40 cents, but we hit it. We struggled at 30 cents off this previous point of control, and we built this descending triangle for 84 days. Broke down, retested as resistance right here, creating an area of concern when we come back up to return to that area, but we could have stacked liquidity up there for buy side liquidity to allow us to, break that double bottom and get acceptance in this value area and start targeting that value area high once more. But yeah, right now it's looking a little weak. It hasn't swept its October 10th crash like Bitcoin has. I believe Ethereum has as well. This is one of those assets where it's definitely possible for it to come down there again, but that's like bear market conditions. You don't want to be down there. You could focus on your local sweeps instead, like we just had recently. We swept this local low here on the daily yesterday, and we came down. It looks like a liquid opportunity, right? And when we came down through here from this low to this high, it's not picture perfect. We came down, broke through the golden pocket in the 786. What these can help you do, liquids, when you pull from your wick to your body, and say you can use lower time frame structure within it and find confluences to determine potential entries. Like if you're looking at the daily, maybe you could see like a 15-minute or a 5-minute bullish change of character while approaching the liquid zones. And the golden pocket to the 786 is like a good zone to watch. But yeah, right now locally, it's looking like it's starting to flip bearish, starting on the 15-minute. On the 5-minute, we are pretty much there. Did we break that low? We did. So the 5-minute has flipped bearish already. The 15-minute is a wick, so it could be an SFP to target these highs again. So if we SFP here after having a 5-minute change of character, it could be an inducement of liquidity from lower time frames where we have a pullback on the 5 and maybe not hit our technical target for the SFP high if we get that SFP on the 15-minute. And then you can use lower time frame structure to find your entry using this as your stop loss guard and targeting here at least. So 5-minute posture. Once you have like structure starting to go against you, you typically want to see like an opposing change of character to establish it as a low, and then pull a fib from the high to that low, and then find your box zone to prepare for our shorts. We do know that we have an order block here, so if we do pull back that high, you could use the order block and confluence for your shorts, knowing that we have already flipped bearish on the 5-minute. But all this stuff would be a lot better if we flip bearish on the 15 first before pulling back. Going back to Bitcoin, we got a little bit of a bounce front running where I kind of drew it. How's Zcash doing? Zcash coming up. It came up pretty strong for a moment. Are really close to our invalidation point, which is this wick right here. Got a good sell shadow wick right now. Let me just send this back. There we go. Candle over. Hopefully we close below the golden pocket. Then if we break this low here, we can move our stop loss from here to here. Otherwise, if we get stopped out, then we just look for our next setup. Okay, so H bar, we looked at that. Quant was a request. Thanks, Coma. Let's grab. We can look at Solana too. Yep. So let's go to Quant. See how it's doing. The Quant's been a sleeper for a while. I don't know if we have a Quant chart. We don't. That's not a big deal. USDT. QNT. Binance. Oh, it looks like it woke up a little bit. Zoom out on the daily. Okay, so I haven't done T on it, at least on this chart, so we can redo this. So we have our supply zone here that we mitigated, so it became a part of the valley area. Click and drag. This is a macro valley area that it's been in for 1,436 days. So it loves to range, which is kind of nice for traders. Not so much for investors, but it's nice for traders. If we come down here, it likes to fall alongside the clairvoyant strategy rules. Break of momentum, add a value area low, run up to the value area high, break of momentum, add a value area low, run up to the value area high, break of momentum at the value area low. We got an undercut to the value area high that time around. And here's our active momentum right here on the daily. We have some negative space between here and then. The momentum is not the only rule, guys, but if we see a break of momentum and a bullish change of character at a value area low, normally we see a rotation to the opposite side of the value area. The opposite side of Quant's value area is huge, though. From here to there, that's a 70% move. So the bullish change of character is a good indicator, good warning sign to prepare for it. Just a matter of how you place your stop loss, where's the invalidation point to protect yourself. And when it comes to changes of character, you want to look for what's called your strong low. And we haven't flipped bullish yet on the daily. Unfortunately, it's not until here. And with the flash crash that we had, bring it down to $50, a lot of this is going to be internalized, right? So you could jump in on bullish changes of character on the 4 hours, stuff like that, and try to maybe find a pullback state. Like we flipped bullish here, but we did so unsustainably. So I'll be looking for the confluence of us. We're hitting our head off of the 50-day EMA. We're at the macro value area low. So this is a good time to prepare for a potential pullback with those confluences. Maybe fill this fair value gap that we created, come down and bounce from there. And once we establish this as the high, which right now we haven't, on the 30-minute, no, 15, no, yeah, it's so aggressive. So we need to have the 5-minute break this level in order for us to establish this as a high. And then we could pull our fib from the low to that high to find a golden pocket 786 level. Prepare for a retracement. And maybe shortly afterwards we break that downtrending momentum and rotate to the value high. With the way the market's going right now, it's looking like alts are getting punished pretty hard from every Bitcoin drop that we get. And on-chain data suggests that right now this is a time to prepare to buy. This is a macro-wise, this is a really good spot to prepare to buy. And I could explain that to you guys in a moment. We get a massive sell wall on Bitcoin. Let's go to on glass chain. Sorry, this is glass node here. Glass node going over to, we want to find net unrealized profits and losses, the Newport chart. Right now, if we zoom in, every time we got to this area of interest, we've had a rally. We had the time where, yeah, I have it circled on my chart for you guys, but yeah, Bitcoin's in that positioning. I'll go over it in more detail in a second after I'm done with Quant, but Yeah, for quant, I would just say because of the behavior that we had here, if you're not already in an existing position, I'd just sit on your hands and prepare for a potential pullback. And maybe from this low to this high, if we establish this as a high, we could find the confluence of testing these previous highs, these lows again, and this gold pocket for potential reversal, and go in from there while watching the local highs as a potential barrier. Or you can prepare for the short with those confluences. But currently, based on structure, in order for you to get that bearish change of character, we need to break this low, or we need to take this high, then break this low. Going back to Bitcoin, so I can explain to you guys the on-chain data about why this is a really bullish time. Well, we do have that daily SFP for one. The daily SFP on Bitcoin suggests a target of the most recent pullback, and that is way up here at 111. So yeah, we got that swept. So technical target is here, whether we have this daily bearish order block. I know I've got a lot of noise. We have more noise above us than below us because of the fact that we just taken all of our lows. But yeah, that's the daily. And if we look at these circled areas I had, because I explained it recently, these three levels are the last 3 times that we were at below the 50 level on the Newpool chart. And on-chain metrics, what this basically tells us what's going on back here is that the relative gains people are having aren't typically what you consider a stress state in the market. It's more like a cool down phase. So a lot of people are having anxiety, and this is just a zone where a lot of people should be preparing to buy based on previous on-chain data activity, right? So we have the combination between this and market structure. It does suggest that we're going to go up, not down. Yeah, zooming in a little bit more so it's easier for you guys to see. But yeah, we're down right now at the 0.4489 level on the Newpool chart. And it's based on the price tag of 101,000 and 101.5. And last time was 76,000. The time before that was around 56,000, and the time before that was 39,000. So where our conditioning is the same as it was at the bottom of those 3 circled zones. Okay. Can we check Esther? We sure can. Yeah, Esther, we have this rounded bottom curvature structure right now. It's showing you when you see rounded bottoms, it's a sign of confidence slowly building in investors and in traders. If we do have this becoming a rounded bottom, our equilibrium point would be roughly around here. So if that's broken, normally when you have a rounded bottom and your equilibrium point breaks, we tend to have an aggressive move up. Now, I'm not suggesting that this isn't actually technically confirmed as a rounded bottom. If it does, we are at area of confluence now where you should prepare for shorts. We are at a previous value area low, and we could come down to return to this area. That's why I've got this drawn. We were looking at this morning during a trade hunting call. But yeah, here we're testing into that supply zone right here, that previous value area low. So if we lose this momentum and confluence with a bearish change of character, which is now higher since the last time we looked at it, we would have the confluence of breaking the VWAP as well, right? So if we get a higher high here, then our key level will change to here. And by the time that breaks, we should lose momentum with the confluence of hitting your head off the supply. So lots of confluence right now to prepare for shorts. It just hasn't confirmed short yet. This could easily flip bullish or continue bullish, sorry, by getting acceptance into the value area here and rotating to the value area high. Kind of like we did here before we crashed to come back down. So make it or break it moment for Esther. But it's not like if it breaks, it's not the end of the world. It's just like a healthy pullback. All right. Well, that's Esther. So if we close above this, we get that break of structure, generating this as our strong low. Then we'll just move our key level from here to here. If the VWAP catches up, then awesome. Then you can have the VWAP confluence with that break too. Loss of momentum at a supply zone. Like that's pretty much picture perfect, honestly, if that were to occur. Otherwise, if it runs up, then it's just a warning sign for anyone who's in an existing trade to stay inside their trade. But this is the moment for anyone who's in a long to keep their eyes peeled. This is a time where you babysit your setup. Okay, Zcash, how you doing, man? You doing your job and falling? All right, we got a loss of momentum internally on the 2 minute. We got a 2 minute order block. It's starting to go with us now. That's why you keep your stop losses at your validation points. You don't want to be too aggressive with your stop losses, or else you get knocked out of the race when it's too soon. And from here, what we really want to see is a break at this low. And then we'd have the technical target of this double bottoms supporting the technical target of the 15-minute SFP that occurred. Right? And the 30 and the hourly. Okay. Okay. Neural. I was thinking about longing yesterday, but I wasn't sure. I would have to make a 3R, but I wasn't sure. I got you. This is a time where a lot of volume starts to dwindle because of crashes like that scare a lot of traders out. But taking that low will also help build confidence in traders again. So I think volume is going to start returning back to the way it was. Hopefully the orange man doesn't say something that messes up this pump. We do have full moon too, which is good confluence if you back test that. I have a video on it. I have the back testing results in the description too. It's about a 50% win rate. Full moons usually induce a pump 3 to 5 days after their daily candle closes. Let's take a look at Solana. We had a request on Solana. Esther's still playing out. If this SFPs, then we want this level to break as well. That'll look good for confluence for the short. Bitcoin's kind of got that little bounce. Oh, might get a tweezer reaction off this high. What you want to see is an engulfing tweezer reaction, so we need to close below here if you're looking for shorts or if you're in an existing short. Yeah, the tweezer reaction, I could see it bring it right back down to this low, giving us that double top, lose the momentum, acceptance into the OR15, the OR15 dragging it down to here with a deviation to VWAP and retest the VWAP again. It looks like it engulfed a little bit. Okay, Solana was a request. Pull that up. Sol. Okay. How are you doing, Solana? I haven't really taken a peek on this guy for a little while. We came down to our zone of interest down here. We were looking for potential long confluences. And so far, yeah, we swept. Oh, we got to break a structure off that low. We tested this previous value low, this little demand zone here. It's our last little guardian, honestly, for Solana before falling down to $125. So glad it held up. Let's zoom in on this guy. Last time we were looking for like this little bounce here for an SFP. How'd that do? No SFP, eh? Yeah, nothing. Let's delete this noise. I actually got a lot of noise on the Solana chart that I need to sift through. But we broke this downtrending momentum for this descending broadening wedge. Descending broadening wedge's technical target is the high. And the reason being is because of how liquidity pools and is taken from the lows. We take liquidity from the lows, right? And then we start stacking liquidity above us. So market makers use that liquidity as exit liquidity, and it starts to usually go cold after the cone effect that you see. And we could validate all of that on liquidation heat maps, and you'd find your largest clustered pool within the heat maps as a potential exit plan, because market makers would use that as their exit plan, right? So you want to like trade alongside them. So you find out the age of the structure. This structure is 2 days and 30 minutes. So we need a wraparound time on the liquidation heat map chart for that. So we can use a 3-day. So we're going to grab symbol on CoinGlass. We're going to start typing up SOL. Hopefully we're not shit out of luck. I grab the 3-day. I apologize for my dad jokes. And you see exactly what you kind of expect. And actually, majority of, so we see it start to cluster above each one of these highs. But there's a lot of weight liquidity just above it. If we go to Solana, right here is actually where a ton of pooled liquidity is based on the 3-day chart. So out of all of this, most of the short bound activity occurred during this moment and not during any of these moments. We do have shorts here, obviously. We saw that on the heat map, but most of the interest is up here. So if you take any longs, or if you're in existing longs on Solana because of either the double bottom posture right here, or maybe the flag posture here, or maybe the retest from the downtrending momentum that we just had happen while breaking into a previous valley area, then what you would want to prepare for is potentially target extensions if we get past this area, and plan an exit plan roughly around here where all that liquidity is. It's around like 178. It's a strong area of interest right now. But yeah, take each one of these highs though seriously and prepare for potential reversals off of them. But ultimately you want to have that target extension up here. We have uptrending momentum you can watch out for if you want to prepare for things to potentially flip bearish on you. It would either be off this high, like I said before, or off of the opposing change of character now that we're getting into a valley area. Right now on the 15-minute, that change of character is right here. We want to close below that wick. We have the 5-minute posture. It flips bearish when we close below here. We'll lose the momentum and confluence with that, and we'll lose the valley area. Yeah, right now things are actively bullish with Solana. You can mark your wick level up here in case we SFP. Solana loves to give you those setups. Make sure you have your magnet tool on when you use it. There you go. Harbor House. Volatility doesn't let you trade. Going nuts. So your confirmation candles are causing too much distance from the stop loss guard, so you don't jump in because the R&R is not there. Is that what you mean? Because during high volatile times, like that's annoyingly common. Like if you look at this double bottom, for example, if anyone wanted to trade this, well, your stop loss suggestion's way the heck down here. So during times like that, after it confirms, you kind of have to be hopeful for either like a confirmation setup or a pullback after it confirms, right? Between the invalidation point and the confirmation. Yeah, I get what you mean though. It's really frustrating. You don't want to catch the knife. You want to jump in on the confirmations, and sometimes those confirmations are ugly setups. There'll always be more opportunities though, man. It's crypto. It's nonstop. I think virtual's coming, trying to break out. Yeah, we have Solana basically giving us a technical path right now of, let's draw this out so next time we're on a live, we can see how it played out. But our technical path is to here, or 5.48% pump. And we just confirmed it during this moment right here. We came down, retest, higher high, break a structure into a valley area like this. And that's really good confluence to bring us up. Watch all your lows, strong lows. We have a new one now here to help warn you for a potential reversal. Okay, and Caliphant was suggesting to look at virtual because it's breaking out. So let's take a peek at virtuals. I haven't looked at it since October 7th. Oh, it looks like it already kind of... Yeah, okay. We had this falling wedge posture, this demand zone here that kind of held us up for a bit, but then we had the flash crash. It brought it down to 27.64. And we have this large 4-hour double top posture. Never confirmed it though. We have ascending support right now, likely due to the 200-day EMA influencing the price to go up. Lots of automated mechanical-based buyers off the 200-day EMA. We are breaking momentum. We broke this downtrending momentum for this descending regression trend as internalized within the double top. Similar vibes to H-bar actually. H-bar has a descending broadening wedge here, whereas virtual has like this descending channel. The technical targets are very similar. It's where the liquidity starts to go cold, where you'd want to prepare for your exit plan. So like structurally it would be here at the supply zone. And that could induce a range. Send this to back. We delete this. That was mitigated. And we delete this. This is also mitigated. There's our wick level. We're coming up to our golden pocket. Right here. The pull is from this high to this low. This one's an automated pull from the indicator that I'm using. I usually use it for market structure just to make things easy to see and for you guys to see too. Alright, change of character occurrence on the 15 minute. Is it lower? Okay, I see. Okay. Yeah, so that's the high. So we just flipped bullish and broke momentum on virtuals. So I would be expecting it to behave similar to H-bar. And come up to this supply zone here. And it confirmed... No, not H-bar. Solana, sorry. Yeah, 10% move. 5-minute structure looks evidence of support. 15-minute, it just looks like crunch to me. Yeah, watch these highs along the way. Dominance on Bitcoin starting to go down a bit. Can you share my virtuals chart? Just go to the Discord and type exclamation point charts. Like this here. whether you're a member or not, yeah, type in exclamation point charts. You'll get a DM. You'll have all my chart links right here. Virtuals has got to be on that list. It is not. It is not on the list. Okay, I will add it to the list today. As soon as we're done this live, I'll get that on there for you. Yeah, I'll get it. Right after the moment they're done this live, we'll get that done. Let's see. Or you can type in what you're seeing on screen. Screenshot it. Arrow, snack, virtual. Okay, we did virtual. Now we're starting to lead into the meme stuff, the meme requests. Okay, we'll look at Arrow first. All right, Arrow. Bitcoin broke past this order block. Zcash coming down, doing its job. All right. See Bitcoin coming up like this, it makes me a little nervous, even though I know that Zcash has some relative strength. It does what it wants to do, not so much what Bitcoin wants to do, because of the nature of its pump, right? So I'm up right now, not very much, $37. I risk lose 120 off the wick. So if we come down to here, I'll collect 200, 204. My fees were low because I used low leverage. I used 3x. I'll share my screen here so you can see it. We had 3x leverage. Stop loss here. This is the technical target here, right? This isn't right. I have to refresh this. It's not showing me the right chart. Unless it is. What's going on? There we go. There. Yeah, technical target 204. But I'm hoping that we have continuations to the Valley Area High for Zcash. Zcash's Valley Area High is down here at 417. That would require us to lose this buyer's momentum in order for us to get there too. So I'm not too confident that we'll break past this, but we were pretty darn confident that we'll at least get to there. Our next little barrier we have to watch for this trade, guys, is where we had this previous break of structure, this previous highs. We want to have a close within that, so we have a higher chance of rotating down, like treat it like a value area. All right, cool. If anyone got in during this cluster, congratulations, you got a better position than I do. Yeah, I pretty much got in during the slight pullback after the confirmation. And Bitcoin looked weak at the time, so it had some on-chain influence on the pairing influence from Bitcoin. Not that much pairing influence from Bitcoin to Zcash though. You shorted Zcash? Good job. Nice. Okay. Arrow. I don't think I have an arrow chart, but I'm going to double check. Okay, we don't. But we can always look it up and see if I did TA on it with this layout. I'll go to Bybit. Okay, I've done TA on it before. Looks like we're going up towards a supply zone I've drawn out. All right, hourly order block, supply barrier. We bounced. Oh, man. So we had our wick level marked right above this demand zone. Congrats to anyone who took that legacy SFP. The technical target has been hit. The legacy SFP candle is here. The technical target is here. And now we're breaking past that. So this is an area of concern now. This could induce a pullback, but if we get the pullback here, if you took this trade, yes, maybe take some off the table, but the pullback could provide support off these previous highs and then paint us the picture of an inverse head and shoulders, stacking more buy-side liquidity and maybe driving the price up higher. Or we could just keep going up, right? We had the 200 and 50-day EMA very close to crossing. So if Arrow could fight its way to get above that again, maybe they won't cross bearishly and trigger algorithmic systems to sell. A lot of algorithmic bots perform based off the 250-day EMA. But yeah, right now as we speak, we are getting at the confluence of that supply zone and this previous value area high. So lots of reasoning to prepare for that pullback. If we get above the value area, then we'll be watching the downtrending momentum in confluence with the 200 and the 50-day EMA as your next area of concern for shorts or a potential exit plan for any longs. But obviously if we break this, then, you know, sky's the limit. It's nice seeing that it's trying to hold up after losing its macro buyer's momentum. Going back to the 15-minute. Yeah, 15 minutes structurally right now. We had a proper pullback here, so you'd mark this level as your key level that you prepare for shorts off of, unless you get an SFP off one of these highs or a higher level change character. But this is definitely a spot of confluence you want to prepare for shorts, though, especially when you have a run up like this. Oscillator, look at the oscillator on the 15-minute at the 84 level. You know, lose momentum on the oscillator. Bearish change of character. Or maybe we get the SFP. I hope that helps you out for Arrow. That looks like it's definitely positioning itself for a short. It's not as picture perfect as Zcash was. But, yeah, previous value high, supply zone, order block. Then just gotta wait for the structural evidence. Okay. We had some more requests to look at SNEC. SNEC, okay. Take a peek at Bitcoin quick. I'm kind of trying to get into that value area. No proper acceptance yet. Proper acceptance comes from a breaker structure. Our 5-minute low is here now. So breaking that. Momentum. So far to draw, draw pathing of what we need to see happen for shorts. Unless you have other rules that allow you to front run this, of course. Acceptance in the OR15, change character, loss of momentum, and prepare for a bounce around the VWAP. Okay, so opening SNEC. I think I have a SNEC chart, believe it or not. I do, okay. Oh, SNEC has been bleeding. Was this October 10th? Yeah, so it swept its October 10th low. I was actually surprised to see how high the October 10th crash was on SNEC when we looked at it. But it basically just brought it right down to its technical target for this head and shoulders posture when we broke this level. But unfortunately, well, you did have an opportunity to get in after the fact. Like, this was the confirmation candle. It probably, it got there the same time it confirmed. So unless you were anticipating for it to come down and sweep that low, which a lot of people were, like, you had to get in on the pullback, the retest of the uptrending momentum. We're now in that area of interest where we're preparing for longs. We can map this out a little bit more better. So we have a more broad momentum here. Did we sweep any key levels? We did. We swept this key level here. We did not sweep this level here. It's not needed, but it's appreciated if it did. Zoom in on the 15-minute. 15-minute internal momentum broke, retested, acted as support. Right here during this moment, We also had the double bottom, break of structure, confluence too from that retest. So lots of confluence right during that moment to belong. Stupid amount of confluence. You know, macro demand zone, break of downtrending momentum, double bottom, change of character, all simultaneously while confirming the break of this downtrending momentum to act as support with the technical target of this high here. We can delete this little area right now. And it's already about 50% to that target. This is something that you would want to spot trade. I don't normally recommend futures trading SNEC. Even just in a spot environment, that's a 13% move up and 20% move up. Sometimes the funding fees are insane on SNEC, so, and the wicks too. So spot trading is a little safer. But yeah, as we approach this valley area low and the technical target for this regression trend, this is an area where you'd want to prepare for your exit plan. So I'd recommend marking this up. Now, if you're trying to long-term hold this, then this is just the buy opportunity for a longer-term hold. I'm not too familiar with the tokenomics of SNEC, so I wouldn't suggest a super long-term hold like you would do with Bitcoin if there's any inflationary rate to SNEC's tokenomics. Bitcoin's starting to come down. Zcash, how's Zcash doing? All right, looking weak, the way we want it. We want to have a body close below this wick to speed up our continuation. We don't want it to wick here and come up, or else we'll have another internal SFP and it can drive price to come up again. And I don't want a triple top. I just want it to go down. Can I ask about your pet rock? My pet rock. I might have to have you point that out. Are you talking about the halo drum back there? SNEC total circulating supply 75 billion Cardano. I know it's a Cardano meme token. I know that they have their own DEX system and that they have their own, like, their pumped up fund system there for drawing attention to their platform. But I don't know what their inflationary rate or how they release that circulating supply. 75 billion is pretty freaking high. But I know that SNEC, its liquidity does not match its market cap in a pretty negative way. It doesn't take very much money to move it. We have another request to look at. What is it? Pengu. Pengu is a community favorite. We don't have a Pengu chart. It's literally doing what I asked it not to do. You got 3 minutes left in that candle though. Oh, what am I doing? I'm doing this on my Zcash chart. There's no back button on this thing. ZEC. Binance. There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, there's certain charts where I can look up assets, whereas there's others that I shouldn't, because it will change how it's viewed when you guys click my chart links. So this is my primary chart where I do most of the TA on assets that I might not have separate layouts for. Okay, now we're going to look up Pengu. Let's zoom out on this thing first. Pengu's collapse went down to half a penny. Its own website says its DEX liquidity is only 6 million. Yeah, so if you're expecting a, you know, like a move from SNEC, it's going to be relative to that liquidity pool. Okay, so we have this demand zone right here, guys, for Pengu. We did swipe right through it, so we still want to look at it as an area of interest, but whether or not there's any residual buy orders there anymore, that's a whole other story, right? Because we came down and mitigated it with this giant wick. It doesn't mean it's not an area of interest, right? When we tapped off these previous highs, creating this demand zone that way. So we just need to see if structural evidence agrees with this still being demand. And we get that from like bullish changes of character. On the daily, however, we're not going to get a bullish change of character until we close above here. So we're going to have to front run that with internal structure. This was once demand here as well, but now we're going to convert this into a supply warning right here. At 0.20354. Our momentum here. We lost the broad daily momentum that's been holding it up since its all-time low at 0.0037. We lost it after pumping for 185 days, about 600%. Going to the 6 hour. We have internal momentum here. Going to the hourly. We broke its internal momentum here. We're starting to come up towards, this momentum here. Bearish hourly order block. Uptrending momentum leading into downtrending momentum. You can mark this up. We'll change the opacity of this, so it's not covering our whole screen. Make sure this is sent it back. Okay, it is. Okay, now we'll go to the 15-minute. There's an hourly order block here. So what I like to do for my mindset, when I see like a apex point like this, I'll color code it to just warn me and anyone who's looking at the chart to potentially prepare for reversals, especially if there's a sell wall and the order book's honoring this level. We don't flip bearish on the 15, unfortunately, until way down here. But hopefully we get like a higher high first to give us a better strong low to prepare for shorts off of. Because shorting off of this, right when we were like, have our previous highs here, we don't want that barrier right in our face. So we can mark our wick levels up here with those confluences. Maybe SFP. While simultaneously hitting our head here before coming down. But yeah, Pengu's look like it's positioned for short-term shorts, but long-term, we're in an area where you'd want to prepare for potential macro longs. Just the macro picture is not really painted that way yet. Do you think Ethereum will retest its hourly double bottom? I could take a peek. Zcash finally starting to get its internal change of character. 2 minutes left on this 5-minute candle. then we should start seeing. We might see a pullback because of it, but overall, more trade participants might start coming in soon to help drive the price down lower. Okay, let's look at Ethereum really quick. ETH, what you doing, bro? Esther still looking weak. H bar as well. Solana hitting his head off his point control. Virtual building a bullish regression trend. It's next still coming up towards its supply. All right, Ethereum, what are you doing, man? Hourly double bottom. That's an awkward neckline, eh? So we do have like that. This is still technically an ascending double bottom for the hourly. Retesting this previous low right here, where we were preparing for a potential sweep off of, but we never got the sweep. We got the close below it. I did mention that I expected for it to drop another $200 yesterday during one of the chats. Looks like we got that fall down to the structural valley area low, tapped off the valley, well, just barely front run it. We can delete this. We can delete this. We're breaking momentum. So yeah, if we were gonna come down to do that, Elephant, yeah, it's definitely possible for it to either do it now or when we tap this area here, this supply zone. So yeah, we could come down and retest that for sure. We might continue, might not. They look at the internal structure at the time to see what kind of strength it looks like it has. But right now in the hourly, yeah, we could come down there and get that. I'm zooming in, it looks kind of the same. A tweezer top kind of reaction. It's not engulfing, so it's not very convincing, but how's the 5 look? Well, the 5 has got engulfing tweezer top. And we want to have maybe a higher high before coming down to give you better structural resistance. We mitigate the supply here. And this could become demand. Yeah, it hasn't really painted the picture yet, but we're at an area of confluence that you would prepare for potential shorts. It's just needs some structure to actually define that first, and wouldn't jump the gun. If you're hoping for a long or buy order, and that's why you're asking, I think it's very likely that we could get there for sure. All right, so that's Pingu. Let's go back to Bitcoin's chart. It's starting to build divergences. Probably just on the lower time frames right now. It's not confirmed on the 15, but the 5 it probably is. Yeah, 5 we got some divergences forming. SETA. Got asked to look at SETA. I don't even know what that is. On MEXC. Low liquidity. Very low liquidity. Just looking at the charts. Man, that's nuts. Be careful with this one. Newly listed. Okay, 481 days. What is up with this thing? I gotta take a peek at this on Coin Market Cap. Unless I'm looking at the wrong one. CETA protocol. $131 million market cap. It looks like it has the liquidity reserves of like maybe $20,000. has an infinite max supply. Its current total supply is 1.01 billion. What's it do? It's an RWA token. Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know much about it, but we can do TA on it. We have been range bound here. Use this value area as support. Came back in, got acceptance, rotated. Okay. Okay, just bounced off of this volume shelf. Coming up to a value area high. This thing's been on a big run. And some of these candles are, 50%. The range itself is 28% down, 40% up. It recently broke momentum, used it as support with break of structure. So yeah, right now we're kind of approaching a value area high where you prepare for shorts. If we close above this and use it as support, then obviously we're going to continue to go up higher. But yeah, right now we're in a position where you prepare for shorts. You can mark this high as an area of interest from the wick high to the wick low. We have the pathing I prepare for. We just mitigated an hourly order block. Basically just looking for bearish change of character in any of these areas and a loss of uptrending momentum. And the uptrending momentum is really steep, so it's not too much to ask for. Just be careful trading it. This is kind of like a spot environment kind of trade. The percentage-based moves are massive. Or if you're using leverage, use very low leverage. Make sure your stop losses are in place because you will have slippage based on these candles. I can tell there will be slippage. And if you're ever dealt with slippage before, it's when you go to enter, for example, like here, but your order is big enough to fill multiple orders, so your average ends up being around like here, for example. So that's just one thing to be cautious about. Back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin's being super slow. Volume is depressing. Zcash, how you doing? We got our bearish change of character. We have a engulfing bullish candle next to it, so we might have a short-term pullback. Maybe build, yeah. See how what we do here. Got the 5-minute bearish divergence. Risk lose 120 in that. Only up like $33 right now. You're already shorting Zcash? Yeah, we're already shorting it. A quick review. Yeah, we jumped in on the. We just changed this really quick. Yeah, we had the SFP from this high at its all-time high, right? And then we jumped in on the in between the confirmation and the invalidation point. Some people got better entries than I do, but as long as the R risk to reward ratio is there, the technical target is this low, right here. But we have an hourly SFP target that's much lower, but we're taking it one stage at a time because when we get to this VWAP, the confluence of the target and the uptrending momentum, it's likely going to cause a problem. So we might take some off the table there unless we break right through it. If we break right through it, then awesome. Then we can hold our trade to our hourly SFP target, which is when you rotate to the hourly, because we did get that hourly SFP, it's way down here in conflicts with that value area high. But we did just get that bearish change of character, so sometimes we have an inducement of liquidity from a pullback. Induces liquidity down here, and we take it for sell side liquidity. Have I moved my stop loss to a lower high? I have not. My stop loss is like right on this wick right now. When we have some distance, I'll be moving my stop loss there. If we have a proper break of structure, I'll be using it above that strong high. Okay, Sonic, Ethereum. We looked at Ethereum already. We could take a peek at Sonic, aka Phantom. Do we have? Let me take a look and see if we have a Sonic chart. Oh yeah. FTM. May 22nd. Last time I looked at it. Just like Polygon, I kind of boycotted this thing. The rebranding, wiping away historical data, really frustrating. I think that's one of the weaknesses that crypto has when it comes to changing your ticker and stuff like that. Having to recreate a new smart contract for your rebranding. It's then resets your chart data. I think there's platforms out there that are merging historic chart data with the new chart data. That could be the fix for the future, but right now Sonic or Phantom is now at 1261. Its wick low is down at 7 cents. So we need to break this high to keep or break this high or this low to stop the price action from being internalized. We have go over the 15-minute. Downturning momentum here. Kind of testing it now as we speak. It's doing so. We did have double bottom with this thing, but it does also have like that inverse head and shoulders posture. A proper pullback here. Proper high here. And we have our change of character alongside that neckline. So it did flip bullish on the hourly. Most people, if they're jumping in on this, this is your technical target. So you grab your neckline, which is this level here, and the head. You can have the body for like a more of a conservative target, or we'll go right down to the wick level like most people do. Break momentum, technical target is 1378. It's in line with this supply concern here. Send this to back. We do have supply barrier right in our face here too. If anything, that could, if we break out, induce a pullback, retest, higher high, then hit our target from there. And stop loss based on this is technically right here. So it's here, R&R would only get there if we managed to reach inside this valley area. We have more. Oop, my bad, wrong tool. Get our fixed range value profile from here to the moment we left the valley area here. What we want to see Sonic do is get acceptance back inside this guy. And get that rotation to the value area high again. Well, that's what the picture is painting right now for Sonic. It's a move up to the supply barrier based on this inverse head and shoulders. You just need to close above that wick. That's all it's lacking, really. To close above this to have this considered a change of character. And if I add the indicator on a chart, you can see it a little more clearly. But yeah, this is the level that we want to have close above. Zcash, how you doing? All right, we pull back a little bit. Basically a retest to a higher time frame neckline. Yep, higher time frame neckline retest. This wick. We just need a lower low. If we get that lower low, then I'll definitely move my stop loss from not very far, from here to here. But if you get the higher time frame, pull back, lower low, I'll move it above that strong high, like the 15-minute posture. Do I ever use the anchored volume profile or just a fixed range volume profile? I think of the anchored volume profile as like a good tool to use when we're in an active range internally. But when we get out of the valley area, what I don't like about anchored volume profiles is that it's going to include all the data when we leave the valley area. And that could adjust your valley area high and your valley area low level, which then you won't know if it's being properly respected as resistance or support or not, which is helpful for trend-bound moves. When you have a valley area low act as resistance, it'll help you know that we're going to continue to go down, or a valley area high act as support and helps you know when we're about to go up. That's one thing that anchor profile won't be good for is that like collecting the data properly to assist you in that kind of setup. But what's nice about it is when we're internally inside the range, it's like lazy mode, right? It does all your pulls for you automatically. I could see it also being helpful for maybe collecting like the monthly data, like start of the day or start of the week or start of the month. If you want to like be aware of your monthly valley area or your weekly valley area or your daily session valley area, that's helpful in that case. Alex Moto saying that a Solana and Ethereum breakout. Yeah, we were talking about that already. Ethereum though, where's it? Ethereum. Oh yeah. Broke momentum. Double bottom, flag continuation. We're at an area of interest now. We've got to prepare for potential shorts on. If we break through it, then our next key level starts on this floor right here. We spoke about Solana. Solana's like almost halfway to its target, I believe. We talked about that too. Yeah, we had our confirmation. About 5.48% was the move after the confirmation. Confirmation came for this technical target when we had this break of structure into this valley area in confluence with confirming this downtrending momentum as support. A broadening wedge target's always the top side of it, where the liquidity starts to go cold. And we spoke about the liquidity on Solana, where we do know that we're stacked liquidity here on these highs, but the majority of liquidity is right here. It's insane. So if you're a market maker, you're eyeballing this right now if you have a large amount of funds that you jumped in on down here. So 178 is a strong area of interest right now for shorts or any potential X plan for longs. ETH got above its value area. Yeah, ETH right now, if we zoom out on Ethereum, oh, this is Solana, sorry. Let's go back to Ethereum. We have this valley area low. Yeah, tap this value area low. Now we're at its value area high. We wanted to see it return back inside this value area. We have a strong deviation past it, but we tapped that previous value area low to almost to the dollar, the structural value area low. But it's painted a similar picture to us that Solana has, except Solana's relative barriers look weaker than Ethereum's. These leg downs are supply zones. Bitcoin doesn't flip bearish until we break here. Unless we get this higher high, then it'll convert from here to here. Your ZEC is trying to come down. Yeah. It's got to do its job. Come down faster, it'd be great. We got proper consecutive pullback here on the 5. So we get this lower low, get us that break of structure. And during that moment, that's the moment where you start drawing momentum. Once we have a bearish change of character and a follow-up break of structure, after the break of structure is the moment you could find the high and then use that high as your pace of the sellers. So we're just lacking that one close, and then we can start drawing downtrending momentum. You always want to like rule format when you use your trend lines, rule format when you have your entries, everything. How's the challenge? I got to get more, I got to be more communicative with that. We'll get, I think I might, if I'm going to be more active with it, I need to do it with a $10,000 account just so I can get paid. And I'd love to do it for the 1,000, but I use trading to like pretty much pay massive majority of my bills, so. AVAX and CRO. We could take a peek at CRO and AVAX. AVAX. November 3rd. Looking the same as everything else. We were preparing for shorts off the supply. Now we can again as we get back to it. Because all we really did was add more liquidity within the supply zone from these highs here. We were preparing for a potential SFP sweep, but instead looks like we got the candle body close. So that was invalidated. I want to zoom out really quick on AVAX and the 15. Because I know AVAX right now is a really historical key area. Yeah. It looks like we swept at this low here. Obviously, we didn't take AVAX's wick level low at 852 like we're seeing with Bitcoin, and it's just AVAX and all these other assets compared to like Ethereum and Bitcoin have a lot less liquidity, right? So it's easier for a flash crash like that to drive prices down to lows that we might never return to. We did take this low. I guess we did when we collapsed here, but we're kind of behaving as if it wasn't, right? But ever since taking that area, we broke down trending momentum. We're on like this journey along the way up. Yeah, we retested it in confluence with the VWAP, giving us a bullish engulfing candle reaction. Got the break of structure when we, at least on the 15-minute, we get the break of structure. But yeah, we're getting closer and closer to an area of concern for AVAX. where you'd want to prepare to maybe take some off the table for any longs that you might be in, or prepare to jump in a potential short. We got a previous valley area low from a valley area here that we traded before in the past. We have supply zone, and we have stack liquidity here, and pretty much the measurable target for this breakout is right here. So AVAX is, yeah, actively bullish, preparing to potentially be bearish very soon. Yeah, AVAX moves really fast sometimes, especially when it's at, yeah. I can look at Pyth. Pyth. Oh, this is the AVAX chart. ZEC still looking good so far. How's the 2-minute structure? Awkward. We step laddered our high. Yeah, we step laddered our high on Zcash's 2-minute chart. So our change characters and occur all the way up here. Sup, Jillian? How you doing? All right, let's pull up. Oh, we looked at Sonic already, Sterling. Yeah, we had a request from. Where is it? Where is that request? Cannot find it. Hey, Kyle, can I pet your rock? What is going on with that? That's the second person that brought that up. I'm not sure if the Otter Gang is trolling me or not, but I don't got no pet rock. Okay, let's go back to... Here we had a request to look at CRO. CRO. I don't think we have a CRO chart. Why would you not? I do gotta head out soon, guys. I got about 19 minutes before I gotta go. Okay, the Chronos running up. Double bottom posture is a little awkward in comparison to everything else. Its positioning showed on a majority of charts this flag posture on the neckline and not like being a part of it, but it did stack more buy side liquidity up here to help drive the price up. Now we're kind of coming into a previous value area low as resistance. If we zoom out really quick, there's some things that we're gonna have to update from these drops. If you haven't looked at CRO in a little while, CRO has been lagging down. Dude, this is nuts. Like how much this thing has been honoring this broadening wedge is just stupid. So like this is a macro broadening wedge, the biggest I've ever seen in my life. It's been going on for 1,089 days. And I thought this time around, like last time around, breaking above like this key level here at like 22 cents, that maybe we would hold it as support and consolidate and then continue from there. Because it just like, there's no way in my mind that I think that maybe we could just come back and retest this again. Because the percentage based move is just massive. It's like 71%. And here we are coming down. You know, it's just nuts. Hey Zaid, how you doing, man? Someone just mentioned their pet rock like 20 minutes ago. I think people just joined into our I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. If you're looking at the halo drum, it kind of looks like a rock or a UFO spaceship. Or maybe you're talking about the giant ogre behind me. Yeah, let's delete this. This was our demand zone for this previous range. We're watching out for the 200-day EMA to cause resistance. Now the 250 are close to crossing bearish, giving a death cross. The death cross in the golden cross strategy is helpful for some assets, but for others, like this one, it usually will get you in late to the party. I don't think it will retrace down to this low, but never say never. Like 0.067 is pretty steep. We have the uptrending momentum kind of being a guardian to that. We have this previous value area high that we could come down to and have it act as a form of support. We have a lot of relative weakness on CRO right now ever since that massive pump that it had. But right now, yeah, we have this previous value area high, not a very strong one. This is this little demand zone here. It was helpful at the time, but it's not going to be very helpful to our current price action. This little guy here will be helpful to our price action in the future when we come back up to retest this. It's likely going to act as resistance. Internally right now, we broke down our downtrending momentum. Just like everything else, it kind of broke the momentum with a kind of like a double bottom posture. You can see it more clearly on the 15-minute. The technical target for this descending broadening wedge here, or this regression trend, is here. We got to watch that previous value area low as a barrier. Okay, delete these levels. And we do have barriers along the way, of course, too. Previous value area low. We got our 15-minute bearish order block here with these wick levels that we can sweep and cause a pullback, like an SFP pullback. But yeah, the technical target is pretty wild. It does suggest that we're going to climb our way, and based on the order flow, probably a slow climb. We'll climb our way up to, let's grab our yeah, 1422. And then we confirmed a move, yeah, right during this moment. So not too long ago. If you're in an existing CRO long, your stop loss is most likely here. And I wouldn't evolve it to the market structure, break a structure yet until you have some breathing room. Okay, back to Zcash. How's it doing? Getting our pullback in. Kind of goes that bear flag kind of posture on the 3-minute. Into the supply. So decent low time frame confluence suggesting that we should be continuing down towards our target. $55 souls here and 46 likes. Kelvin, you have a pet dog. It's like 26 in Alaska, so your Yorkie is sleeping on the heated beds now. Oh, nice. It's still like, it's not winter weather here yet in Canada, but it's starting to approach that. We had a daylight savings is the warning sign for me of when it's telling us to start moving our clocks. Like, fuck, the snow's coming. All right, guys, I gotta head out. I extremely appreciate all the requests that we got. We went through Sonic, Ethereum, AVAX, Zcash. We're in a Zcash short due to the 30-minute SFP and the hourly SFP confluence off of the all-time high with just a short-term target, basically targeting the VWAP. The technical target for the 15-minute aligns with that, and the technical target for the hourly and the 30 align with this valley area high. So when we get here, or when we get here first, we'll see how we can gauge whether or not we can hold our trade, because we want to break below the VWAP. We want to break this momentum in order for us to say we could hold the trade longer. If we can hold the trade longer, then this is our next area of interest. This is our next technical target. We do have an order block in our face along the way, but being below the VWAP, by that time, your stop loss will be in the profit zone, and you might have taken some off the table around here. If you take some off the table, make sure you're closing based on like opposing proper reactions, or make sure you close on your 1 to 2 risk to reward ratios, so that if you have anything left in your position, you have a higher percentage chance of closing with proper like net R&R by the end of it. You're welcome to ask me any questions inside of the Discord, guys. So if you have any questions, just reach out. No question's a dumb question. And yeah, like Koma said, we do have a code right now for all-time high. Yeah, ATH, get save 50% off your first month or 20% off the year. I have a birthday coming up on November the 11th. So on the 11th, I'll do a surprise giveaway to a surprise sale to sell Bitcoin, says Arash. I oppose that. Do not sell your Bitcoin right now. If you go through the beginning of this live, I explain why you shouldn't be selling your Bitcoin right now. On-chain data suggests that this is actually a good time to prepare to buy. And I actually did buy some. I bought like $3,000 more worth of Bitcoin after we confirmed that double bottom. You and Shim. Yeah, Shim Moore's got his birthday the same day as me. Exactly like 10 years apart. All right, cool, guys. You have a great day. Appreciate you for watching. Sorry, it's okay if you're in lurker mode. I get it. Anyone who's been liking, sharing, subscribing, honestly, you guys have been helping me grow like a lot faster. Our next goal is 8,000 subscribers, but we crushed it to our 7,000 goal, and we're kind of sprinting a lot faster towards our 8K goal. All right, guys, you have a great day. I'll see you on Friday. Friday, we have a giveaway. We give away a $6,000 account for like a funded account. It's insta-funded. You don't have to do any like tests or anything like that. And we also be giving away a membership to InvestShare. All right, guys, you have a great day. Thanks for watching.